What I'm going to be reviewing in this video is the Mortal Kombat 12-in-1 Legacy cabinet. So this isn't the 2022 version, this is actually the 2021 version. Part of my reason for reviewing this actually comes from the fact that I'm seeing a lot of these still being distributed and sold by Arcade1Up, as well as some people asking on the groups, is this a worthwhile cabinet to get, or should I just go for the newer version? Now, I've never touched or used the newer version, so I can't tell you if this is better or worse than that, but I can tell you my thoughts on this unit after having played it for quite a while now. Now, originally, when I started collecting these, I actually wanted to go ahead and get the first generation, or maybe it was a second generation unit at that time, of the Mortal Kombat cabinet to go along with my Street Fighter cab. Problem was, I purchased it, I assembled it, and the thing was dead on arrival, and I believe in that era of 1-ups, that was kind of a common thing. So many years later, and basically November to be exact, I actually found this for a really good deal on one of the Arcade1Up groups, or maybe it was Kijiji, one of them, but I paid about $280 cash for it, and it even came with the riser and all the other features of the unit. So in this video, I want to go over what I really like about this unit and some of the bigger issues that it has overall. So let's take a look.
You lose. Perfect.
So to start off, this is the Mortal Kombat 2 unit, and the artwork, as far as I could tell, looks pretty much identical to the first version that Arcade1Up released with the Mortal Kombat 2 cab way back when. However, the biggest difference has to do with the fact that, unlike Arcade1Up's traditional design that they had in their first couple of generations with the shark fin, you can see that this is a lot more squared out. Personally, however, I think the artwork between the unit itself, the panel, and even the riser itself look really sharp and look really good. As well, this unit itself, and I believe most of the Canadian models, I could be completely wrong, but most of them all come standard in the Legacy editions with a light-up marquee, and I myself, I know some guys are very particular about this. This is a little washed out, but for me, I'm just more excited by the fact that it lights up at all, so I think it looks awesome. Now, as far as the games go, you have a pretty wide list on this unit. So you have Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3, of course, which for me are the main reason that I wanted this unit at all. Some of the other games, I don't really have much nostalgia for, so sorry guys who are really into some of these games here. However, I did like Gauntlet growing up, so that's been a game that I've been playing quite a bit as well. But overall, there is a lot to like on this unit as far as the game selection goes. I also like that in keeping up with more of the recent Arcade1Up units that have been coming out over the past couple years, each game has a settings feature, so you can change some of the settings. As well, this unit I noticed also has a pause function. So what I mean is you can press both the 1-player, 2-player settings, and it will pause the game while you're playing, which some of my units, even my newer unit like my Pac-Mania, don't actually have that feature. So I personally really like that because it allows me to break up the gameplay, especially when I'm trying to play through like a full playthrough of Mortal Kombat 3 or something, right? As well as, I want to also point out, because one thing I do know about the newer Arcade1Up Mortal Kombat unit is that the screen had some issues, just like my Pac-Mania screen did. I can report that with this generation of 1-ups, these screens look fantastic. I believe this is still a BOE. The viewing angles look really good to me. However, now I'm going to get into some of the things that I do dislike. So, I would have loved if there was some sort of Wi-Fi feature. In this era of 1-up, so this was only in 2021, there were units coming out with Wi-Fi. I believe the newest Mortal Kombat unit does have Wi-Fi. It would have been a nice addition to me to have that, especially on a game like MK2 or MK3. Now, while the screen looks good, the problem isn't with the screen itself, it's the way it's recessed into the unit. The viewing angle, personally, I think sucks if you're standing and playing. And for me, for most fighters, I prefer to stand and play these games. So this unit itself, if you're not basically sitting, and maybe if you're really short it might work, I don't know. But basically if you're not sitting, I found you couldn't get a good, comfortable viewing angle of this machine. Now, I'm 5'9", so I actually went ahead and went to the Buy Stuff arcade and bought a riser booster for this. And that was about a 4-inch riser booster. That, with my riser itself, made this unit, in my opinion, perfect to look at now. So by adding that 4 inches, made it near perfect. But if you don't go ahead and spend that extra $80 that I did for a riser booster, you're probably going to find this unit very lackluster if you're trying to stand up and play. You end up cutting off like about 2-3 inches of the screen if you're trying to stand above it and play. And I also found that the way the screen stands when you're above it like that without a riser booster, it just feels awkward and uncomfortable to look at. Now, the last thing I want to bring up, it's probably one of my more minor frustrations. I know some guys who buy these units are very, very adamant about it being perfect arcade authentic. I'm not that picky, as you can tell in some of these reviews here. I like these units for what they are, but the buttons themselves in this unit do feel just slightly stiff, and I don't know why. So I've never upgraded a single unit of mine to change the buttons to use like Sanwa or whatever everyone else is using. And compared to like my Marvel superheroes or my X-Men vs Street Fighter or even my old school Street Fighter cap, the buttons on this unit feel slightly stiff, which took me a bit of getting used to. Now, I am happy to report they do feel responsive, and I didn't feel like I wasn't able to pull off any moves. But for me, and I know for some of you guys are more purists about it being as authentic as possible, that might be a detracting feature of this unit when it comes to playing it on the daily. Now, overall, I'm going to say I really like this unit. And what I want to bring up is that I also got this unit for a very good price. I got it for $280 cash. So when I look at it like that, I think there was a boatload of value in what I spent on this. And a lot of you guys who are even going to watch this review at this point are probably also in the market like me to buy it years later because you saw it on sale or saw it for a good price. So if you can get it for a good, reasonable price, I think this unit is definitely a fantastic unit. I play this one quite a bit nowadays. It's probably one of my most played units, and I personally really, really enjoy it. Now, again, though, the viewing angle is an issue. I know some guys play with stools, so I want to reiterate, if you are willing to spend the extra $80 after finding this for a good deal on a riser booster, as I believe Buy Stuff Arcade's the only one that really makes one, it makes this unit, in my opinion, near perfect, despite a couple of little gripes that I do have. So overall, I love this unit, and I think it's still, in 2023, a great unit to have in your home arcade.